The Supreme Court is considering whether to adopt a legal theory that could fundamentally change how federal elections are conducted.
It's very interesting. This theory could give state legislators sole authority to set election rules, even if they result in partisan gerrymandering. Demonstrators gathered outside of the Supreme Court ahead of today's oral arguments. Republican lawmakers from North Carolina are pushing the so-called independent state legislature theory, which says that legislators should be able to take precedence over the decisions of state courts. Here's what's happened. The state Democratic-led Supreme Court there in North Carolina rejected a voting map earlier this year drawn heavily in Republicans' favor. And instead, the court produced its own map that yielded 7 seats for each party in last month's midterm elections.
Joining us now is Chief Legal Correspondent Jan Crawford. She was present for oral arguments in the case earlier today. Jan, some folks are saying that this case could be the most important one for American democracy in the nation's history. Why are they saying that?
Well, I mean, as Lana suggested, obviously it could give state legislatures kind of unchecked power to set election rules and be free of oversights from state courts. So, you know, you're hearing a lot of kind of sky is falling stuff about an extreme version of this theory that if it were implemented, would just kind of give state legislatures free rein. And there is a concern that that would include free rein to meddle in presidential elections. Now, I think that is overblown. There are federal laws that would prevent that. So a state legislature, even if North Carolina prevailed, wouldn't be able to install its own electors after an election. But short of that, it could have tremendous ramifications for state legislatures and state courts and federal elections nationwide, because as you guys suggested, that unchecked power, the state courts would no longer have that review.
You know, Jan, I'm interested in really your take on this, because a group of 20 Democratic senators filed a brief today urging the Supreme Court to reject the independent state theory that's being pushed by North Carolina Republicans. At its very core, we know that gerrymandering and drawing maps can be a partisan issue. It seems to me that the very fundamental understanding of how our government works is that there are checks and balances and that courts should check legislatures. So why does this have so much merit that is actually even at the Supreme Court? Do you think that there's a possibility that this state's legislature right will prevail?
Well, I mean, this all started kind of as a tit for tat in North Carolina, right? So you have Republicans control in the state legislature now, finally, and they kind of adopted this very partisan map that would have redrawn a lot of congressional districts and tipped a bunch of seats from Democratic to Republican. So then the Democratic-controlled state Supreme Court said, wait a minute, that's too extreme, and they threw it out. And then they threw out another map. So the Republicans were obviously very annoyed about all this. So they started pushing this theory, the independent state legislature theory, which, you know, sounds boring, but it's really important, that these state courts don't have any say at all in this, because look at the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution says in the Elections Clause that legislatures set the time, places, and manner of elections, and it doesn't say anything about what state courts can do. So, okay, so that's their argument, right? Like the Constitution says no to state courts. Why has this become so partisan? Well, over the last several years, Democrats have spent an enormous amount of time and money getting Democratic candidates elected to state Supreme Court specifically so they could have some of this oversight. But what's interesting is sometimes when cases get up to the Supreme Court, one party may bring them, and then it may end up benefiting another party. So Harvard professors have done statistical analyses on all this, and it shows that even if North Carolina were to prevail, at least right now, that ruling would help Democrats because it would apply all across the country, and so there are state legislatures where Democrats are in control, and then they would have more power. So the bottom line is this is partisan, yes, but which way does it cut right now? It could kind of cut both ways. The longer concern, though, is about the role of those state Supreme Courts and whether they would have any oversight on not only election procedures, voting rules, polling places, time of elections, whether they could review that to see if it's fair, and the congressional redistricting and gerrymandering. So removing the state courts would be a major, major ruling from the Supreme Court. And that's what we heard constantly at arguments today, how the blast radius, as the lawyer challenging this theory put it, would just be extended across a vast swath of election law.
The blast radius. That is, wow. All right, Jan Crawford, thanks.
Sure.